CollectAWrestlePalooza. CollectAWrestlePalooza.
What's up, sports card enthusiasts, wrestling card collectors? It's Tom here from CollectAWrestlePalooza. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about a counterpoint. Folks that have never tuned into this channel, welcome. I like to discuss my hobby, but I also like to discuss things that are happening in the hobby in general. And one thing that I've been seeing a lot of social media influencers posting about is the idea that you should sell your stock at whatever price you should get. They're talking about business concepts such as sunk costs. They're talking about the idea that you want to put your money into investments that you think are the best investments today, regardless of what you paid for the cards or for the collectibles when you purchase them. And they're saying sell off your goods that you don't think are good investments, sell them at whatever price you can get, regardless of what you paid for them. I understand that business concept. The business concept of sunk costs is very real. It doesn't matter what you paid for the card when you're talking about selling it. However, there is a counterpoint to this argument, which I'm going to be discussing right now. The counterpoint is there's a certain threshold when you're budgeting for your hobby that you should not go over. And I've talked about this before in my channel. Say you want to put $10,000 into your collection, into your inventory, and you don't want your inventory to exceed that point. And you also don't want to spend more than $10,000 in a calendar year on inventory or some such number. It's very tempting to turn your inventory a lot. Now, in general, I'm a fan of this concept. However, anyone that invests in stocks, invests in other types of assets and investments, knows there's a concept of buy low, sell high, and don't panic. In other words, when your investments go down in value, everyone wants to sell. They say they're going to go down in value more. And also, they don't worry about fees. They don't worry about the time it takes to list that. They don't worry about the time it takes to package and sell an item, all of those sort of things. So let's talk numbers. Say you have $1,000 to spend in cards and you buy 10 cards that are $100 each. These cards have gone down in value. The market value is now $50 each. So the theory is, oh my God, they're only worth $50 now. I'm going to sell these 10 cards for $500, take the loss, have $500 in my pocket. It's better than nothing in my pocket. It doesn't matter that I invested $10,000. That's a very easy binary way of looking at it. However, it does not consider all of the factors. If you are selling those 10 cards that are worth $100, and when I say worth $100, I mean your initial investment is $100, and you relist them, there's a 10% fee. There's going to be $100 that you just pay to eBay in fees, if that's the site you're using. It takes time. So say it takes 10 minutes a card to list them. Then you have, 10 cards times 10 minutes, 100 minutes, you have an hour of paying yourself of time, an hour and a half. Say you pay yourself $40 an hour. Then that's $60 right there. There's $160 off the bottom line. So your $500 you got back is actually limited by another $160. What about packaging? What about freight? What about income? Now, there is the idea that if the IRS is taxing this income, then taking a loss is good because it offsets income you might have gotten from other cards. Yes, that is true, but let's forget about that for a second and just look at the raw numbers of the selling costs and what you're going to have in your pocket today. You're not going to have $500 in your pocket, you're going to have $340 if you take that $160 off, minus cost of freight, say that's another $50, $5 a card. Now you're talking about having $300 in your pocket. And you're going to reinvest that into new cards. So now your initial investment of $1,000 is $300 in cards, and you're going to repeat the cycle. Okay, you're going to sell off these $300 cards when they become $15 in value, and you're going to pay fees. You're going to pay that 10% eBay premium. You're going to pay for shipping. You're going to pay yourself for labor. All of those various things, and it tends to cloud the idea of your budget and your initial investment when you approach it this way. Because remember, you know, I said $10,000 earlier in the video, but let's say $1,000 is your threshold for the year. Now you've spent that $1,000, you've lost $700, and you're going to reinvest another $300 in there with no assets behind it that are worth that. So it just doesn't necessarily make sense to take your investments and to sell them off. Find value in your cards based on what you think they're worth to you. And that value is not just the comp, it's not just what you can get for them, it also is the labor, the time, the love you put into the hobby. So yes, in a binary sense, okay, don't expect you can sell a card for more just because you paid more for it. However, don't go off and sell that card at market prices if it's going to cause more losses in the future for you, and it's also going to make you go over your budget and end up spending more time, spending more costs in the hobby. Maybe just sit on your investments a little bit and wait for them to go back up in value. Just a counterpoint, something to think about. It's a tumultuous time. Folks are having a hard time in the hobby, but stick to it. This hobby's been around forever. It's going to rebound. There is a floor. There is a certain price that I don't think these cards are going to fall below, because I think that there's just enough momentum in the hobby that it's going to stick around for a little while. So I hope that helps you out, maybe gives you a little bit of energy to think about things a different way. Stay collecting, stay in the hobby, and stay optimistic about the future. Thank you for watching. This is CollectAWrestlePalooza. Have a great week.
CollectAWrestlePalooza. CollectAWrestlePalooza.